Hello. So I'm playing my favorite game. It's called Groundhog Life, and what I like. So it's one of those games where you get like a new game plus, and I prefer to do hard reset to make the game a little more challenging. Um, but if you go about it normally, you get like boosts to how much you can learn about all these. The meters all go up faster. But what I like to do is click hard reset. Sometimes it's totally unfair. Someone starts out, they're like Bill Gates' son, and they get to be the CEO of Microsoft in like 5 years of working. You know what I mean. So we go to lifestyle. We start off. I clicked pause. You kind of got to do that. By default, you're at 44% happiness. But we're going to go to major lifestyle choices. And what we want is to start drinking a bunch of coffee. The sooner we do it, the better. The more we do it, the better. So anyway, yeah. Because it makes you happy, it makes you friendly, it makes you talkative, it makes you focused, and that's all nice. So right now, we are eating like microwave food, but it takes us half an hour to prepare. We have two options. We could just go get takeout for $10 more, or go get some fast food specifically. Not takeout. Takeout's probably a little better. But maybe we go sit down at the restaurant. We take about an hour longer than we would, or half an hour longer than we would just eating our cup noodles or whatever. And look at this. The quality is almost 4 times better. We only spend $10 more, and we make it take an hour longer. Maybe you just cook mashed potatoes or whatever. Right now, parents' basement, that's where you start off. You have to collect $500. You only have $100. So you can't just jump into it. You have to kind of be mildly miserable for a little bit. We got our caffeine boost. We're a burger flipper making $5 an hour. That is the minimum wage in some countries. And we go to the lab tab. You should probably learn stuff if you don't want to flip burgers all your life. Actually, you should learn stuff even if you do want to flip burgers all your life. So without actually doing this, if you set aside time for research, you won't actually research anything, so you do have to click something. Leadership is by far the most important. Investing, I did a life where I only focused on investing just to see what happens, and he was happy until like his mid-50s, and then he didn't get happy again until he was 140 years old. That's when he got to move into his mansion. But leadership lets you be a CEO and make like $400 an hour. Investing, let's say you make $30,000 a year. You invest 10% of your earnings, and then you get a 10% return. So what's 1% of your $30,000? It's $300. That's how much you're gonna get. There's a lot easier ways to make that kind of money, to make $300. And it's hard. It's a lot of work to not spend that $3,000. And it'll make your life a little worse. Maybe you avoid getting your car fixed because you're trying to get your investment, but it doesn't really help unless you have a couple $1 million. So we're going to start off learning study skills because that increases your research speed by 1% per level, but it does take a long time to build up. So it has really diminishing returns. You don't want to be 80 years old and you finally learn that way to memorize things to make whatever you're studying 1% faster. But I don't know how high I'm gonna get this. Like, at what point are you better off just learning what you want to learn instead of thinking about it? And then one of the most important things you want to change off. So here's the sleep. They're sleeping 8 hours. We want to make it 9 hours. Look, they went from 57 happiness to 66% happiness. And they only have half an hour of free time. That kind of sucks. But they have 4 hours of slacking time, where you just don't really do anything. You just kind of keep your life the way it is. And he spends 2 hours eating food, half an hour longer than most people by default. And we're going to click auto promote on. This is a magic world where you do not have to apply for jobs. You just are entitled to it. You have workers' rights or whatever. And what's 8 times 7? You're working 56 hours a week right now for $5. Because you have to pay $300 a month in rent and you have to pay $900 in food. But I mean, you could make it $600, but it really slows down your life's progress. So some parents do charge their kids rent, but I like to factor in car costs into the housing costs. Like when you get in your tiny apartment and you're spending like $2,000, like at least $500 a month of that is gonna be your car, right? Oh, I meant $70 a day. I don't know what I'm saying. Yep. $3,000 a month in this normal apartment. And each time you go up, you do have to do an extra half hour of chores. When you're at home, you can leave your room a mess. No one's gonna mind all that much. But when you live in an apartment with someone, they're gonna make you do the dishes. And then when you live in your studio apartment by yourself, I don't know, you just have more stuff to do. And when you get to the mansion, you have to trim all the hedges and whatever, and like look at your outside decorations and decide, you know what, I don't want lions anymore, I want it to be eagles. And then you keep changing your mind because it's just fun to change your house. That's the appeal of it, I guess. So I'm gonna start now. I'm gonna make it. He's as happy as he can get. He's going, he has the maximum energy he can have. And he's as healthy as he can be right now. He's 67% healthy or whatever. And the happier you are, the more efficiently you use the time that you are working or studying. Although it is technically faster to just do like 80 hours a week to get promoted. But then one day you get Bill Gates' son working at your place, and he goes straight to CEO, and that's super angry. And you're like, I wasted my life. I should have just had fun, at least a little bit. But priorities are the priority. He will be happier working than he would with pure free time. He only needs like 3 hours of free time. It's not that any more than that isn't going to make him any happier. So we're going to click pause. I said that earlier. I'm sorry for deceiving you. So, yep, we let that go up. And Look, he got a huge promotion. He worked there 3 days, and now he's making 750. Um, I guess he had a lot of like parking expenses. He parked in the wrong spot, or he had to go get his food handler's permit, and that kind of was factored into the pay. And so now he's making a profit. He's making $18 more than he needs to, which means he's working more than he needs to. He's doing 56 hours right now. Obviously, that's not the standard number. So we're going to knock it down. Now he's making a profit at 10 cents a day. He has full free time. That's the maximum happiness he can have right now. Just making $7.29 as a little 18-year-old. So he's at 85% happiness. The other 15% happiness will depend on moving out into this shared apartment. See, he's at 40. He has 45 points from his housing happiness, and he needs 15% more. But he was lucky. He got a job. He's landscaping. I don't know, getting $5 off Craigslist. And what's 5 times 7? 35. Yeah, he's working 38 hours now. That's pretty normal. He's happy about it. And so no changes, but we are going to start doing some research with any extra time we have. So, he just got a huge promotion. He got a whole $1 more. So now we got to knock it down again, because this is the least money he's ever going to make. He feels dumb about working any more than he has to, instead of figuring out how to make more money than that. And see, now his study skills thing is going up, and he just got another little promotion. He's making $9, $9.30. There we go. He's just happy to have a job. He's spending an hour, 15 minutes learning how to study. I don't know what he's learning. I don't know how he's developing that skill. But here's the weird thing. He just got a promotion, and now he's making 40% less right now. But he has to improve at being the chief flipper. He's worked there 3 months. He got a promotion. 82 days. Now he's kind of losing money. He's got to put in more hours. And I'm going to do it in half-hour increments. So now he's at 72% happiness. That kind of sucks. But watch this. Now he's at 770 again, and now he's at 870. All in like a couple weeks. I don't know. Maybe he needed to study for some sort of certification. And now he's back at 85% happiness. And he's still got an hour of research time. But he has $330 right now. We gotta bump that up to $500 so he can put in the down payment on his little apartment with his friends. Now, my personal life is nothing like this. I spent way too long trying to apply for jobs, and not ending up with any. So this guy's lucky. There's nothing we can do about it. And it took him a couple weeks, but now he's making more than when he was the burger flipper, the chief flipper. But he's making 3 cents a day. But his study skills are going up. That's pretty cool. We are gonna need to get leadership up to 10 for him to get any more promotions. This study skills thing is more of a long-term thing, but in the short term, it's gonna kind of be a setback. We finally have $500. We're gonna move into that shared apartment as soon as possible. But it does cost more, and he does have to do half an hour more of chores. But that's what makes him happy. So he has a little bit less free time. He still needs that 2% boost from that extra 15 minutes. But now he got his promotion, so like whatever. My increments are too small. There we go. He's at 2 happiness. That's as high as it can possibly be. He's so fulfilled. And he's working 35 hours a week, but he's not studying anything. He's gotta get a little more money to get more time to learn how to learn. There you go. He's got 15 minutes. But he's losing 60 cents a day. That's gonna mess with him. Not anymore though. Now he's making 60 cents a day. When you go bankrupt, you feel totally ashamed about yourself, and so you start sleeping less and working the maximum amount of hours that you possibly can. Oh my gosh. See? And you move out of your new house. See, he's working 70 hours now because he's so sad. And he's at 24% happiness. And he starts eating much worse because he wants to save that $10. But it's a simple fix. We go back to regular cooking, we go back to 9 hours of sleep, and we go back into the house with friends. It's because he got a promotion again. That's what happened. Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna cut into the free time a little bit because it's kind of annoying to run out of money like that. So he's only at 85% happiness because he took a 2-hour cut to his free time. 2 hours of free time is only 15% extra happy. Now he's working too much for too little, so we gotta fix that. Oh, no, we can't do research yet. But now he's at 96, because he fixed it. And look at that. He got a huge $1 an hour bonus. And to get to the next level, he does have to be, get level 10 leadership. So, let's say they're here. They do awesome. They work 80 hours a week, every week. And they're as good of a dishwasher or whatever as they possibly can be. But let's say they don't speak English. They have 0 leadership. They're just no leadership whatsoever. They're like, I don't know why everyone just doesn't do it. And when they see something wrong, they're like, or they just keep to themselves. All those things are obstacles. So I think I'm gonna let his study skills get to... No, we're gonna switch to meditation because it's a little bit faster to get to from 0 to level 1 than it is to get from 4 to 5. Like it's 5 times faster actually, because I'm gonna pause a little, just get through it. So I think the meditation Or it can be fitness if you want, because it gives you extra energy. I think it makes your coffee bonus a little stronger. Because if we go to the coffee bonus tab, it gives you plus 75% energy, and this increases your energy. So look at this. You get 2% more energy from getting level 5 meditation, which I guess is pretty good. And that compounds with your healthy eating. But you get way more energy from being happy. Some people's goal is not to maximize their happiness. When I first started playing, it just seemed like something, free time and moving out just seemed like something that would slow you down, and I wanted to see what happens. But if at the end of the game you do become a scientist and you protect against an alien invasion, but there are infinite aliens, so even if you do really well, you can only hold them off for like 5 years. So you may as well just be happy. Oh my gosh, I wanted to switch back to the study skills, but I'll let him get to level 6 fitness or meditation. This game did make me look up those meditation videos. Those are pretty nice. I felt super happy afterwards when I tried it. And after we get to 5 study skills, we're going to switch to leadership. Because the meditation does make you go learn study skills a little faster, because energy is part of the research. And look how fast this is going. This is a little over 5% faster than normal, and then there's 3% from the meditation. So I guess the study skills is overall more useful than meditation. Like that song says, don't blink. And they're 21. They are making $16 an hour. That's actually about how much I made at my first job post-deduction. So at that age even. So let's pretend this is when I started watching cringe videos, and this is my real life. But it's pretty challenging to find ways to make more than the Seattle minimum wage. I guess you can find somewhere to work for tips. When you start making $50 an hour, you can get a cleaner, or because it's cheaper to... You get the work experience instead of the chore experience, which is kind of a dead end. You should do your chores though. You should learn how to do that. I did once try to do like spreadsheet math to figure out what the maximum return for how long to study skills and how fast it would make your leadership go, but it was too complicated. I didn't end up pulling it off, so I'm just kind of eyeballing it. 5 sounds appropriate, right? The last few times I also did try to not even do study skills or meditation, just go straight to leadership. But even by age 30, your leadership will go up more if you do these self-improvement things. And if you care about your character's happiness, you know, getting stuff done does not help. Because what studying this getting stuff done does is it changes your slacking time. So the best you can knock that down to is 2 hours, but you need a certain amount of work-life balance. That's 60% of, or I don't know how to quantify it, but yeah, it's work-life balance is about 30% of your happiness. So each hour of free time is like an hour of it. But if you do the getting stuff done and you don't just get extra research or work time, it cuts out of your work-life balance time, which makes you less happy. So overall, it doesn't do you any good. Oh my gosh. We gotta drink our coffee again. Oh. But there are some boosts you can get. What does it do? Yeah, it makes you get things organized if you get it to level 10, but as you can see, it takes like 2 years to get something to level 10. So that's not at all a priority. And every level of leadership gives you a 2 percentage point increase to how fast you level up at work. That's amazing. And it's also a requirement. You gotta be level 10 to get to whatever the next thing is. I don't remember. Oh my gosh. It's a good thing they have $3,000 in saving, because I wasn't paying close enough attention. They could have done more research. They could have gotten this shift manager thing a little bit faster. But some people like having savings. Although it's more efficient to just have more income, of course. So let's make the right amount of money and, stop studying. Oh, right, they turned 23 and I never noticed. So every 5 years, your housing standards change. So they've been a little bit miserable for 5 months about living in this shared apartment with their friends, because their friends don't do the chores and they don't like it. Because he's asking, "What's that thing in the sink?" And it leads to some conflict. But they feel more grown up now. They think chores are okay. And it is going to be twice the rent. They were paying $750 a month. Now they're paying $1,500 a month. And that includes car costs in my mind. So they're paying like $1,000 a month in rent and utilities, and then like $500 on their car, in my imagination, and then the $100 a month that you spend on video games, that's also like factored in my mind. I don't think video games count as the food here. But yeah, let's fix everything. They're still at 83% happiness, and that is totally because of their work-life balance. They could get 17% more happy from not having to work all this much, because they're getting paid less. They don't like it. Opportunities are not guaranteed. They don't know for sure that they're going to get all these promotions. and these pay raises. They want the money now. And there we go. Now we're finally making what we made at as the kitchen manager. We have exceptional leadership skills. And we're 23. And so technically he's like working 28 hours or whatever. But I think that's also part of your mindset. Like if you get downtime at work and there's like, you get to read a book, that's basically getting paid more for the hours that you do actually work. So I guess that's part of leadership, or part of this pay raise, if you want to think about it that way. Like what, you can work 40 hours doing a really hard job that demands all your focus, or you could work 40 hours in a moving truck where you pretty much sit in the moving truck waiting to get to places, and you get to play your Switch and not feel guilty about it at all. It's a world of difference. Oh, now they're making 28. They're doing 28 hours. I'm sorry. And now you can go learn programming and work at Ugle here, but what happens when you do that is you have to work at an unpaid internship in this game. I don't know how it works in real life, for 6 months, and that's gonna mean you have to save up $5,000, and also you're not getting paid for it. He's 15% of your happiness here is from your expense ratio. So you're losing money, so you can only be 85% happy. You are probably not going to want to buy the expensive house because you're losing money every day, and you're probably not going to want to have that much free time because you're losing money every day. You want to get through the internship as fast as possible. So that's kind of sad. And then there's a certain point where you plateau, and you know how it said that there was like you had to get level 10 leadership to get to like this shift manager position. You still have to do that. There's a certain point where you stop making more money. And it takes your character about 4 years to be able to save up enough money for and also learn enough programming. And so this is about the same money you would be making at that age if you're getting $22 an hour. The next segment here is junior programmer, and that starts at about $22 and is 25%. But you're not getting promotions because you have like no leadership. It's a slow process. So yeah, even if your dad is Bill Gates, they do make you do the unpaid internship for like, you can knock it down to 3 weeks. But you, when you work the restaurant route, you can be at full happiness the whole time. Even if you, and you gotta, oh my gosh, I've been talking for like half an hour straight. You can forgive me for stumbling a little. But it's time for our caffeine boost again. We can only do it for 2 months straight every 2 years. We're shift manager. We're still learning, spending an hour a day on leadership. I don't know what they're doing for that. In The Sims, they call it charisma, and you pretty much need it for any kind of promotion that you need. And you build that up by looking at yourself in the mirror. It's a little bit more fun to do YouTube, I think. I like to watch my own videos and just hate them. I hate them. And I think it improves my charisma. I hope so, anyway. And now we're assistant manager. We're losing $12 a day, and that's making them 12% less happy. But I'm too lazy. I just want them to suffer a little, so that, because they're gonna get their bonus. There we go. Now they're at 98, and they get an extra 5 minutes in research. Oh no, 15 minutes, which is pretty nice. Every day, learning how to get more money. That's awesome. And look how cool they are. They're learning they're kind of fast at learning stuff. They're kind of fit, and they're really cool. They're cool as you can be. And then, I don't know why I just started making... Oh, he was making too much money. He wanted more time. That's what the issue was. And once you start making about like, I don't know, $35 an hour, you can spend $40 more per day on fancy cooking, but it's an extra hour a day. But it's fun. You cook with your own hands and kitchen, and so that takes you an hour a day, but it cuts out of your free time, but it doesn't cut into your work-life balance, because you do actually think that cooking is fun. It's your hobby. Instead of watching TV, you cook. It's a nice thing to do, and it makes a world of difference in this game. Oh yeah, and sleeping is a buff to your health, so don't forget to do that. And look, they're making so much money. They're getting $31 an hour. So in my other video I showed you guys, it took until they were 30 to, where I just did pure leadership. It took them till they were 30 to make $30 an hour. But we got that 3 years earlier by doing study skills and exercise or meditation. Consciously devoting your time to focus. Oh no, and it's 5 years later again. This sucks. They have to move into a better place. They're like, you know what? I don't want my kitchen to be in my living room. I want to spend $2,000 and an extra $600 a month, $2,100 on my tiny apartment. I'm spending like $1,500 a month on rent, and then $600 on all this other garbage. But the extra half hour of chores they did made their free time go down, so we have to study a little bit less, and we also have to work a little bit more because it's more expensive. But it's someone who would not care about their happiness would just still stay in the basement, because they're on a mission to stay to get all that money. No spend money, only make. And I'm gonna pause a little. Oh my gosh, it's been 2 years already there we go. There's our caffeine boost again. So yeah, there's kind of a fast forward button that you accumulate. I have 2 months more of fast forward I can do. Um, like in your early part of your career, um, you are getting a promotion like every week, and you're getting a new level like every week, but then your life changes less often. Oh, I accidentally made them lose too much money and they were kind of sad about it. I'm getting dangerously dipping into the savings by spending $5 a day. And look, they barely have any savings because time is money, and later on in life you will probably get more money if that is something you care about. And it's probably not enough to just like do YouTube. You should this is the business section, so you should probably go to school for it. It technically doesn't cost money to you if you do what everyone does and just take out student loans. Um, it's kind of cheating. You're like, but it costs money, right? No. No, that's not how it works. You should not be paying for your own college. That is a dumb thing to do. Cause I tried getting a job to pay for college. I wanted to pay for it all by myself, and then uh, if I had known how long I would not end up be working, I would have tried a lot harder in school. But I was like too anxious. I didn't think I could afford to spend that kind of time without working. But yeah, um, learn business at college and then actually apply it. Some people do not end up applying it. Um, and I think we're about ready to make the transition to start cooking now that we're like 30. Spending a bunch of food, like that's their passion now. It's spending money on food. And then so they have like no research time anymore. They have 0 hours, but um, this fancy cooking is more than double um, in quality because it feels awesome to make it yourself. Um, and so look at their energy here. It's 5.87, but if we switch to regular cooking, it's 3.06. So that's from 60 to a yeah. You just get awesome. But if you just get fast food, you only have 1.63 energy. But look at our awesome food. We're spending so much time cooking, and they think it's super fun. And so they're getting like double the work experience because they're so awesome and they tell everyone all about their food. Everyone sees what you bring in for lunch and they're like, man, that guy is living his life totally alright. We gotta put him in charge. So they're spending a lot of money on food. They're spending $2,100 per month on food, and I assume that means that they're like taking cooking classes actually every day. Because like I can't imagine how you can spend that much on food. Oh yeah. You find a wallet and it has $10 in it. If you keep it, you get $10, but if you give it back, she gives you 50,000. You're probably not gonna spend the 50,000. You're probably gonna get to like level 2 in investing, and then make all that 50,000 into your investment thing. Your eventual goal is to collect $3 million so that you can get like 10% interest, and it'll pay for your mansion and the cleaner, because the mansion is $1,000 a day, so, and the cleaner for it is $1,000 a day, so you need $2,000 a day, so that means you need 10% of $2 million. So yeah, it's kind of easy. Well, no, it's really hard to get $2 million. And they, like, because right now they only have 3,000. And they're now getting 2% interest on all their savings. Because I made them study it a little. And they're making and then what if you need, like, you have some sort of expense? Your savings becomes your source of income. So if you go to the hospital and you spend, like, I don't know, $5,000, you are now making less money. It's kind of awful. Oh yeah. So they're making 29 cents per day from their investments. And they're making $132 from their actual job. So yeah, it doesn't pay off for a long time. You were way better off just increasing your income. Because it does take time. It takes time to learn about it. And we're making $45 an hour, so we're gonna spend $50 a day on the cleaner, because it's not going to waste. Your time is spent. That extra hour a day, that extra 7 hours a week, is going to your work experience. Oh yeah, we only need 2 hours of free time because we're spending so much time cooking for fun. And yeah, it's the right call. I did actually have a coworker who told me that this was about how much he was making, and he was about this age. I think it was like 37 though. Because he was running his own business on Craigslist as a furniture mover, and people will pay like $3,000 to get their furniture moved. And so he said that, like, he had like a team of 5 people and they were all getting like $45 an hour, and he said they were really good at it, and they drive all over the place. And the character's 33 now. That means they have to get another boost. Oh, but they can't. They don't have the initial cost. They don't have $6,000 because I lived my life kind of wrong. So yeah, we gotta make $6,000. Darn. And we'll make the maximum amount of money without infringing on their happiness. And so I guess that's an extra $10 a day. They only want to save up $10 a day. They don't know what's good for them. So it took them almost 7 months to save up an extra $2,000 for this normal apartment. They are spending $3,000 a month on their apartment, and I assume that, like, I think of it as like your children and their expenses are like factored into it, and now they're making more than $50 an hour, so they have a cleaner that is really paying off. Oh right, it's not. I clicked pause. And they are making so much money. They're getting $58 an hour. That's amazing. I don't know how people can even do that. Um, uh, and it's enough that they still have half an hour a day to be able to learn how to be the the next level. You have to get leadership 50 to get to the next level here, and that's gonna take a while. You've seen how much time they've put into this leadership. It's and how much time they end up losing over time. It's gonna take a long time to get it to 50. But I think you can still make like 70 an hour or whatever as the restaurant manager. But when you get to regional, you can get like $140 an hour. How do you do that? That's amazing. So we are getting to the point where leadership is leveling up way too slow, and oh no. Yeah, getting that extra level in investing only made it go up like 8 cents a day. uh, Never mind. I thought I was doing the right thing, but not really. Um, that was like 10 hours to get that extra 8 cents a day. But eventually you do need to kind of get it up, but it's not, it shouldn't be your priority. You should actually find ways to serve society instead of getting money for having money. Oh, but we got the promotion. See, that got us like $6 more an hour. That's that is much faster. I would have been better off putting that hour into working. That would have made my investment money go up more than spending an hour a day checking the Dogecoin news. Because he'd have more money to get the investment percentage off, right? Oh yeah, and also very soon we're going to have to move into this fancy apartment, and this character doesn't even have $10,000. All the money they would be making from the investments, 67 cents a day here, is gonna go away. It's because they're not gonna have any savings. And so with no research, no skill in this area, just decided to make like an investment in Dogecoin like 4 months ago. I put like more money than I really should have, because I was reading all these comments about how if people went back in time, the first thing they would do would be make as much money as possible and invest in Bitcoin. So I was like, okay, well, I'm here now, and Dogecoin exists, and then it is down 60% of what I put into it. Yeah, making a 4% a year is kind of off of like 100 hours is kind of reasonable. But in my Neopets account, You buy the stock and eventually it will go up. Something only goes bankrupt like once every 10 years. Um, but I did end up spending much more money. I buy a lot more stocks than I sell. Um, so I have quite the portfolio there. I'm just holding on to all these Neopet stocks, trying to and not getting any money from them. Cause I only get to sell one like once every 2 weeks, and that stock is like triple. It only goes up to 60,000, and so you get triple off of that. But I'm still spending. Um, I'm still buying a new stock every day for 15,000. So I'm still losing money in the short term. But in the very, very long term, I'm making money. And we can't afford the fancy apartment. We just gotta take some time out of research, put some money into it, and start making $23 a day. Uh, and it might not pull them up to full happiness. They might still. The paying twice as much. They're paying 6,000 a month in rent, um, very soon, and they're gonna do half an hour more of chores. That might be too much for them. They might not have any time to do research, because we still got that hour a day that we're putting into getting to the next level of being a restaurant person. And you can't just do it. You have to know other stuff. You have to make connections outside of your restaurant or whatever. Um, or I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to be doing. Oh yeah, yeah. Um, I somehow didn't notice that we made an extra $3,000, but I gotta switch to the fancy apartment now. We're gonna take all our research time away. And it only brought us up to 92% happiness. Um, Spoiler, it is gonna go down a little bit from there. Um, maybe I maybe if you play this game perfectly, you might be able to be at full happiness for your whole first life. Maybe if you do more study skills or meditation, but I don't know. Um, this is still pretty high. It's like my whole first life, I only let myself ever get to like 60% happiness because I was like, that's reasonable. I'm still trying to get through the game. Or and then like once I'd get my unpaid internship over with, then I'd be like, well, they're doing pretty well. I should let them be at 70% happiness. Uh, I feel almost guilty for affecting this guy's life like that. I know better now. I know that you can be at 92%, and it'll be awesome. And I think it's going to take about 30 years to get to this level 50 here and get on to this next level. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to drink my copious caffeine boost. I'm finally starting to notice like uh, the length of this game. Because I've played this game 50 times and it takes like 2 hours to get through one life. So I must have put like 100 hours into this game. So I am making the choice here to reduce their happiness a little so that they can study faster. Um, You know what? No, no, never mind. This is like their last chance to be happy for like a few years. So maybe I should try to maximize it. Um, get it to 97% here. That's pretty high. If I remember right, they don't end up being a regional manager here until they're like level age 70. So it's going to be a while. I might as well show off the journal here. History is not a burden on the memory, but an illumination of the soul. Lord Acton. So this is just the achievements. So says be at least 1.8% or 1.8 happy. We've definitely done that. And then you can get miserable by like spending your whole life doing this, getting stuff done, and then not sleeping at all and working like what is it? The maximum hours. I think you can do like 120 if you really do it, if you're really dedicated. And then there's an achievement for getting the level 1000 burger flipper. That you pretty much have to be retired and then be 1,000 years old to make that happen. And then if you keep Mrs. Pennywise's wallet and get the $10 from her wallet, you get the envy achievement. And if you invest to level 500, you can get the greed achievement. And if you destroy 1,000 alien ships, you get the wrath achievement. And I guess you can, in this game, work for 22 hours a day. But, and then when you're you have a bunch of money, you can spend $50,000 a day to get food cooked for you by the molecule. And that's just kind of a funny thing. Oh yeah, and we got the $50,000 from Mrs. Pennywise. So, what does that buff our investment thing up to? Yeah, we get $6 a day from our investments now. And $316 a day from our work. And they're 43 now. They're a little bit less happy with their fancy apartment. They want a penthouse. But I know it will make them less happy. Because they're gonna... It's twice as much money. $400 a day? What's, yeah, that's $12,000 a month. No way. Oh yeah, so if you read this quantum mechanics thing, you have to get that to level 50 before you're age 28, and then they open up a third career where you get to be a scientist. An email from a company called Dark Plateau. It contains some complicated quantum physics equations. Looks like you're supposed to solve them. You try, but you are just not good enough at quantum physics. Level 50 required at age 28. So yeah, you pretty much gotta be, Bill Gates' son to be able to boost your study skills, to get your quantum mechanics. That's like 6 generations in. The great, great, great grandson of this first life here as a kid, as a restaurant manager. Yeah, now they're 48 and they only have 30% happiness from or 15% happiness from the fancy apartment. Once it gets to 0, we're just gonna go straight into the parents' basement, because it's not actually, it wouldn't be any different. Wouldn't make any difference in their happiness right now if they lived in a tiny apartment. or their parents' basement. So may as well just save the money, save the $190 a day, right? Or when they're old enough, you may as well think of it as children's basement. That's a thing that happens sometimes. And they got a tiny bit better at being a restaurant manager, so now they're at their maximum happiness they can be right now. Aside from moving to the small house with 5 rooms, and in real life, I don't think houses are probably that expensive. Um, uh, I guess everyone in the house is like a dependent, and they're not like renting out any rooms. Like, you can get a house much earlier, and basically in real life, if you buy a house, you never have to work again, because you can put a 10% down payment on it, and then charge, what is it, 290% of it, of the house's value over 40 years, and you just get a free $400,000 every 25,000 you spend, and 3% of the U.S. is millionaires, and that's pretty much what they do. They're pretty much all real estate owners. Maybe it's not the right call, making it so that they have 0 hours in research so that they can be at 70% happiness. But I am thinking about waiting another 8 years before I make them start studying leadership again. So I want to maximize their happiness, but I do have to also think about minimizing their misery. Because they're gonna be at 40% happiness for a couple decades. Nope, I'm doing the right thing. They should. And at age 53, they're only getting 15 points of happiness from their apartment. But they still have all the free time they need, so it's not worth it to move back into the kid's basement again. So there we go, 58. Now we're not happy with our fancy apartment anymore. We're gonna start saving some money. Now we have a income of $183 per day. Isn't that awesome? I think you can pretty much stop working. Oh my gosh, look at how much free time you get. That's amazing. Wow. Now you get 4 hours a day to study for this next thing. That's this is more time to learn than they've pretty much ever had. They're working 12 hours a week. I don't know, maybe they're going to law school or something. I don't think it's gonna take too much time to get some investing experience done, cause okay, wow, they made 20 more cents a day, and maybe study skills, cause it's gonna be a lot of studying over the next few years. Maybe if I knew how much study skills I needed to have, I would have done this a little earlier. Because look, it takes like no time. I probably just saved like 5 years of studying. So I'm not slowing the game down on purpose here. As you can see, the days are going by much more slowly, which kind of sucks, but that's because of the aliens. And if you get rid of the aliens, then this goes by a little bit faster, but it really doesn't make much of a difference. Yeah, you can make the normal speed go by for about 5 years instead of this new slow speed, and now you can go into your events and click this and start your new game plus, so that you can do basically what you're doing here, except a lot faster. And then, all that. But I kind of like to make my character immortal, and then they get to be happy off of their investment. Oh yeah, and when you're aging, your health goes down a little. So right now it's down by about 15% because of age. So your fitness over time becomes a little less important, but your leadership stays the same. Alright, they only have half an hour of chores, so unless they're making $100 an hour, that half hour of chores isn't gonna benefit from, there we go. Now they get an extra 10 minutes of research a day from what my little change did. But a kind of nice thing is that I know they're probably not gonna go bankrupt, and it's gonna be a while before they have any income increases. Because when they get the income increases, they want to work a little bit less, so that's something you gotta adjust. But I don't have to adjust anything. I can just go somewhere else and leave this tab open. So I left the game running all night, and 20 years have passed, and they finally got their leadership to level 50 after spending 4.5 hours a day on it for 20 years. So now they can finally be the regional manager like they want. We're gonna take some time out of research, and it's time to start trying to get our $2 million for the retirement investing. But I gotta organize all that. So see, they're sad because they're making significantly more money than they're spending. I don't know why that makes them sad. But so we're gonna start learning investing to bump this 5.9 up. So like, if they're making that much money, they just want to spend more on their house even though they don't need to. So yeah, let's take a bunch of time out of work, making the maximum amount that they feel comfortable making. Really? They only want to make 20 cents a day? Sorry. We might have to spend random money. Let's go into the shared apartment, get the cleaner boost, and see if that makes them happier. I don't get it. Oh well. You all thought that they weren't gonna make it. You didn't think they'd ever get to level 50. But they they put in the effort. They put in the time. Okay, so I moved them into the normal apartment. They're not happy about it, but they are happy that they're spending the money they're making. That's the only difference. But I got them to be equally happy making $60 a day as they were making $40 a day in profit. But they're not doing any investment research anymore, so that's kind of... Well, for some reason, they're happiest making $6 a day and spending 3 hours on research. We'll see what happens. And yeah, I did make them move into the cheaper apartment. Oh, sorry, I forgot they did fancy cooking, so I adjusted the free time to 3 hours instead of 2 hours. That was dumb. But realistically, they should be working 4 hours and studying for 2 hours like that, but it's just what makes him happy. He wants to pass down knowledge. So here's the dilemma. Do I want to make them happier sooner? Or... Oh, and like a year later here, they get bumped up to 85. So yeah, like I was saying, do I make them happy now? Or do I make it so that they go to max happiness sooner by getting their $2 million? And their work experience makes them get more money also. Yeah, it's a tough choice. Very tough choice. Yeah, I ended up going for the short-term happiness. I hope you all forgive me. So right now they're getting $11 a day off of their investments, and now they're getting $11.36. Because you saw that investment level up. But yeah, that's what happens when you have $65,000 in savings. And look at them, they're putting like 4.5 hours a day into getting like 20 cents more per day instead of being happy getting $45 a day. See, they're so sad. Yeah, and they had their birthday and their health went down a little. So things are going a little more slowly. All that meditation and fitness is going a little... It's not paying off as much right now. But that leadership is. Because they're getting all that work experience from their hour a day that they're doing. And there's a lot of ways to make this kind of money. Like, a restaurant gets... One I worked at, they said that they got about $7,000 a day. They don't care if you take 100 of it per day, if you own it. And moving companies, they'll pay $3,000 to get their stuff moved. And that might not even take that long. You might be able to get like 3 of those a day. Lawyers make that kind of money. Therapists make that kind of money. Doctors make a lot more than that. You know, how hard is... I'm not saying it's easy, but there's a lot of ways to make it. So it's 20 years later again. I'm sorry to cut it kind of short, but I want to make other videos right now. And then they just had their caffeine boost wear off. Well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you learned about from this video.